Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans. Now this is just not so much a theory, but kind of a what do you think about this kind of scenario. And I was thinking about it, considering that, season 7 is almost done filming, and with recent episodes, we're getting more Malone activity than we used to. I do miss Mama Rose, though. I wish she would show up again in future episodes, but it's really not about that. I was just wondering, do you think the Malones themselves could hold their own with like a spin-off series or even like a movie? Due to the fact that, Tyler Perry does seem to be experimenting with different forms of, what's the right term here, genres of work, like with the Madea movies and the Halloween aspect, obviously comedy, but it's a holiday themed movie. And, he was in Alex Cross and the haves and the have-nots is definitely a step above the rest in terms of his TV shows. I mean, up until that point, I believe like his main focus were the comedic sitcoms. I mean, for better or worse, I feel maybe was, well, honestly, I never watched the show, so I couldn't tell you what genre it was, but I feel like the haves and the have-nots is really his first full-on drama. But I feel like if he were to create a Malone's focused series, it could definitely have that Sopranos or The Godfather sort of vibe to it. Honestly, I feel like it could work, and here's what I mean by this. You can kind of, and this was what Tyler Perry, I hope you're listening to this, or someone who works for Tyler Perry Studios. I'm not saying that you have to become the next MCU, but given the fact that you have such a huge catalog of work, not just from plays, but movies and the TV shows and everything else in between, you could really create your own universe. Tyler Perry has enough stuff Oprah has her own network. Tyler Perry could have his own network and just run back, movies and plays and his TV shows. There's enough, but I feel like, in a way, Tyler Perry could definitely capitalize on creating the, TPU, the Tyler Perry universe, pretty much combining the shows. And it's not necessarily about crossover events. Crossover events would be great for ratings numbers, like Have and Have Nots and If Loving You Is Wrong. I've already done videos on that, like 5 ways they can cross over and things like that. But given the fact that the Malones were mentioned in the Madea Witness Protection movie, I'm just saying that it would be complicated. Maybe it's one of those things where the TV shows will be connected, but the movies will be their own separate entities. And, people like me who are suckers and keep a magnifying glass out for continuity, that would be a bit strict, meaning that, hey, the scripts would have to be taken a little bit more seriously in terms of recognizing continuity, who's met up with who before. But I feel like the Malones themselves, being such a massive crime organization and a family, I think it could work. With the haves and the have-nots, Sal Malone, Mitch, Vinny, Sandy, Mama Rose, a bunch of unnamed family members. Mitch's brother, I forgot his name though. I know somebody will tell me in the comments, but I feel like with the Malones becoming more of a character in themselves instead of being a family in the shadows, because we're getting to know them a bit better now, I think it is possible that Tyler Perry could indeed create a spin-off series with the Malones. And the beautiful thing about it is, once again, have it connected where the Malones are obviously the main focus. But for starters, technically speaking, you could have a prequel series where the series is focusing on Mama Rose's father, who never had a son, hence why she's the leader of the organization. This goes back to my prequel Have and Have Not series idea, where you can have stories and episodes about how these characters became who they are now. Have, Mama Rose's father possibly being in league with Catherine's own father, and how Jim met up with Mama Rose and how him and David used to use them for favors. there's so much that could be done with that. For starters, I mean, you could have the main series be in the present, but then you have special flashback episodes. However Tyler Perry wants to do it. And I know that, and I'm just going to call them by their character names here. Mitch, Vinny, and Sal, some of my favorite people to message with on Instagram and Twitter. I hope you're watching this video and just pitch the idea to Tyler Perry, you know, like, hey, this guy we talked to, big fan of the haves and the have-nots. He has his YouTube channel, but check out this video because he's just pitching an idea for the Malones to have their own spinoff. I don't see why you wouldn't share the video with him, guys, because this could give y'all's own show. And I'm just saying now, this could work because y'all do such a great job. And I sound very country right now, but honestly, I don't really use the word y'all, but you know what? Y'all are doing great on the show. So all I'm saying is this much. The reason I'm really kind of pitching this idea and just talking about it out loud is the fact that the Malones themselves have become much more interesting. Season 2, it was really Mama Rose. Like, yeah, we had the background. We had the hired muscle in the background. You know, the ones that abducted Candace, the ones that would drag her wherever Mama Rose wanted her and things of that nature. But we're really seeing more of the behind the scenes in the Malones. Like, the more that we see Mitch interact with the Malones, I'm just curious about how that actually works, you know, how he's able to talk him down, how he's not part of the family, but, you know, they still shudder at the part that, oh man, Mitch isn't in the Malones, but that's Mama Rose's grandson, so we better not F around with him. So I feel that there is so much that could be unpackaged with the Malones. And like I said before, if you have like the Tyler Perry universe, if you will, the Malones is their own show, but we can see some of their lieutenants, some of their soldiers, however you want to say it, dropping names of cities and characters and companies and businesses from the various shows. You can drop names and whatnot from If Loving You Is Wrong or The Haves and the Have-Nots. Lord have mercy. If they have I guess you could say like a agency set up in Florida, can you imagine if the Malones go by the dry cleaners or whatever with Curtis and Ella? You know, let me stop. That's too much. That's too much. But all I'm saying is this much. The Malones themselves are such an interesting character. And I'm going to make a comic book reference here. A DC Comics, New 52, Batman, The Court of Owls. Pretty much a crime organization that's been running in Gotham for so long. We're talking before Bruce Wayne ever donned the cowl. One of my favorite Batman comics, by the way. You know, it's pretty much something that Batman, even though he knows the city well, he thinks he knows it inside and out. This story really developed the fact that he doesn't know everything as well as he thought. And the Court of Owls is definitely one of my favorite crime organizations within, you know, Batman lore. But also the fact that the Malones themselves definitely, I feel that if written properly, they could definitely hold their own series. A movie, I feel like a movie is a possibility. You know, like maybe it's one of those things where he would make a movie first, see how well it does, and then decide to do a series, but or vice versa. But all I'm saying is this much: if done correctly, because Tyler Perry, I know you could do it, the Malones themselves could definitely hold their own in the series. But also, I think you should really consider doing like a TPU, like Tyler Perry universe, because this would be a great way to bring back old actors who've been killed off by doing flashbacks or prequel episodes, if you will. Like, you just never know. I'm just saying the possibilities are endless. I mean, I always thought it would have been sort of cool if Randall might have been like a psychiatrist or counselor for Amanda in her past, or you know, somebody else who or maybe even Melissa. There are just so many ways that these characters could cross over, and it'll be amazing, because for anyone, once again, comic book reference, who watches the CW Arrowverse like Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Arrow, and what have you, those crossover events are some of the highest rating events on television during whatever month they come on. So all I'm saying is this: the Malones, they definitely give all that Soprano, Godfather vibe. You got Mama Rose, you got Vinny, Mitch, and everything else in between. But there's so much mystery that's encompassed within that family. And I really feel that Tyler Perry can make it happen. I think this can allow for like a darker, gritty kind of series within Tyler Perry's catalog. And I think it could work. honestly, I think it could work. But yeah, I'm just going to cut the video here because I feel like I could talk about this all day because I am really excited about the possibility of this happening. Now, keep in mind, nothing is confirmed. This is just me as a fan of the series coming up with these crazy ideas that could actually work very well, bring a lot of money to Tyler Perry Studios, give some of these awesome actors like Oscar, Brett, and hang on, let me get my iPod. John, Big John, to continue on in this series of their own, but also have it connected to, you know, the Tyler Perry universe. And I ought to work on. I've actually been working on this. Well, not this video idea, but kind of like drawing up a map. You know, like those memes where you got those people who are theorists. And they draw maps out and stuff. That's been me on and off the past couple of months trying to come up with a logical way to connect all of Tyler Perry shows and plays and movies. And it almost made me brain dead because it's kind of like, you know, some cast members play different roles on different shows, and that's way too much. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you be interested in a possible Malones focused movie or TV series? How do you think it could work? Do you agree with my idea? Do you feel like this is a good thing? I feel like it will definitely give Tyler Perry a different market. And not only that, if they're interested in the Malone focused series, but they name drop and mention things from the haves and the have-nots. And maybe if Loving You Is Wrong, that might make even more people intrigued and more open to the, you know, option of, you know what, they said something about a Crier, a Jim Crier or a Candace. Okay, let me check out the haves and the have-nots and see what's going on here. See what I mean? All I'm saying is this much. Even if you don't want to have a full-on crossover event with, like, if Loving You Is Wrong in your other shows, you can have stuff filling in the gaps between, you know, okay, we saw the Malones in season 2 for the first time, but what were they doing during season 1? What kind of other operations are going on within the family when they're not in an episode of the haves and the have-nots, when Jim or David aren't calling them up? And didn't that one Secret Service agent talk about how, you know, it's they have like this terrorist organization or terrorist plot or whatever? That's when Benny got arrested. And, you know, 1 minute a Secret Service agent will walk in. Next thing you know, a normal cop will walk in. So all I'm saying is this much. Tyler Perry, please, please consider the possibility of a Malone-focused movie or series. I don't want to see these actors wasted. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing them on the haves and the have-nots. But I just feel like there's just so much that could be done with the pistol whipping, the drugs, the shootouts, and everything else in between. So yeah, those are my 2 cents to the Malone family. Keep doing what you're doing, as long as you don't come to my neighborhood doing it. And I'll talk to you soon. Everybody subscribe to this channel because I love making these fun little videos like this. But also, Tyler Perry, if you're watching, awesome show. Keep up the great work. And, you know, give a brother a shout out sometime because, you know, I love talking about your stuff.